Okay, so I know this is much later than I have been doing it. If you don't follow my social media, I did make something of an announcement. The morning schedule has just not been working out for me. As I think we have seen the last few videos and probably heard the last few episodes, because in the mornings Dusty just seems to be like ripped and raring to go and not ready to go back to sleep like he usually is. So I am trying this out for a little bit of doing it at night when I know he will be a little bit more calm and just okay to just lay here next to me and behave and not be so crazy. So yeah. Also, get the elephant out of the room. I am wet. I just took a shower before this. We just finished watching Raw because it is Monday that I'm recording this on. So yes, I will be going. My goal this week is to go live 4 times and record 4 times, so that way I can be caught back up to where I want to be. So next week I only have to do it the 3 times. Be way easier in the long run. And instead of just rambling on for another 5 minutes, we're just gonna go ahead and roll right into it and do our intro. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Phoenix Reads. Today we are going to be reading Today I fucked up, that's right guys, it's Friday. Now, I don't pre-read any of the stories I'm about to read with you, so these will be a surprise to us all. I will leave any usernames in the description if you want to go leave your own opinion on their post, given it is still up. My username for Reddit is in the description. Feel free to tag me in stories you'd like to hear me read. So grab your snacks, grab your drinks, and let's get started. I'm really enjoying the grab your snacks and grab your drinks tag. I feel like I have drawn a blank. Give me 1 second. Okay. Okay. I hope everybody's weekend went well. Well, by the time most of you guys see this, I hope your week has gone well, and I hope you are very much ready for the weekend. Actually, I think by the time you guys see this, this will be the weekend that the new Flash movie comes out. And sidebar on this, I am definitely very torn about this movie because of everything that's going on with Ezra Miller. But at the same time, Michael Keaton Batman. Like, I love Michael Keaton as Batman. He's one of my favorite Batman. So it's like, I'm definitely going to see it, but not in theaters. I will definitely be pirating it on my Fire Stick. Just saying. It is definitely something I want to see, but it's definitely not something I will be paying for because I don't approve of Ezra Miller's actions. So probably the same thing for anything that has what's his name for the new Marvel movies with all that's been going on. I'm not thrilled about that either. But I digress. No more rambling. We're going to get right into it. Hey everybody, happy Friday. I hope you all have had a wonderful week, and if you haven't, well, I hope this makes your Friday a little bit better, and I hope it maybe prepares you for the weekend. And I hope your weekend's gonna be good. Even if it's just sitting at home, relaxing, and doing absolutely nothing, that's okay. As long as you're enjoying yourself, that's what matters. But we're just gonna go ahead and roll right into this with our first Today I Fucked Up story. Today I fucked up by putting baby teeth in an urn and making my mom and receptionist cry. You know, with that little intro I just gave, I feel like I just kind of slapped myself in the face. Whoopsie. Over Christmas, we lost a very dear family dog. Why does it say baby teeth? He had originally been my dog back in high school, so I had kept a few things from his puppyhood. Most notably, his baby collar and a little container of the baby teeth that I managed to save from being eaten. I thought we were talking about a human baby. Oh, fuck. When I graduated high school and moved away to university, my mom and sister took over responsibility for him. They didn't know about the teeth or the collar as they were packed away in my room. Fast forward to December of 2022, he tragically dies the night before I was supposed to return home, and the whole family is devastated. That's so sad. When our boxer, Riley, who is the dog we had, funny story with Riley, we got her for my husband's birthday. It was an early birthday gift. And when we got her, she was already 4. Shortly after getting her, we find out that I am pregnant with our son. So our son had grown up with Riley, and having to put her down was like one of the hardest decisions we've ever had to make. Because she was been a part of our family for so long. Like Sky, wherever she is, she's over in my chair sleeping on her back like she does. She was our first baby. She was our first, like, bringing the family together type pet, and then Riley was the second one, and then Hermione, who's right here, and now Dusty. But yeah, it was a very hard decision to get Dusty again, to choose to get a dog again, because anybody that's had that dog that has been like just top tier of pets know that getting another dog, it's hard, because then you think like, oh, they do this, and this one used to do that, or this one would never act like that, and it's kind of disappointing. It can be a letdown, but so far Dusty has been wonderful. So I'm very proud that I think us waiting as long as we did really helped as well. But fast forward again to spring break. His ashes have been returned to us in a lovely little urn, which is on display in the living room. I'm also home for break. One night, when I had the house to myself, I took his urn off the shelf to say goodbye. It occurs to me that his teeth and ashes somewhat go together, and I go to get the box of teeth and the baby collar and tuck them inside his urn. A few weeks later, my mom texts me asking if I had done anything weird with the urn. Apparently, she had opened it up for the first time and seen this tiny collar and tiny little teeth. Oh my God. I can only imagine, like, for whatever reason, feeling like nosy and opening it and seeing that and going, oh, because that probably would have scared like the shit out of me, going, what the fuck? Because our dog had been a medium to large dog, and she wasn't aware I had kept them, her first thought was that we had the wrong ashes. So she was on the phone all day with the vet's office and the cremation facility, trying to track down whose ashes we might have gotten mixed up with. And apparently she had been crying to the vet assistant that the ashes had been all she had left of her darling boy. The paw imprint we had ordered had been lost, and the lock of hair we had asked to be cut from him and sent home never made it to us. I did not know you could do that with the lock of hair. With Riley, she was a boxer, so she was a very short-haired dog. So that wouldn't have really worked. But we still have her collar, which has our last name on it. It's like a military-style collar, so that was her collar. Like, as soon as we got her, we were like, this is the collar we need to get her. Given we will probably end up getting one for Dusty as well when he finally grows to the size that he will be, or at least as close to it within the next, like, probably 7 months. Because honestly, I just realized today, the day I'm recording this, he turns 11 weeks old. So next week, he will be a whole 3 months old. And it just, like, blows my mind that we got him when he was a month and a half old, and just how much he's grown already. But at the same time, I feel like he hasn't grown as much as I would expect him to for being a large dog. So we think we're gonna get our wish, knock on wood, that he's going to be like a miniature lab. Because I mean, anybody that's seen him, that's what he looks like. He looks like a lab with spots. So. And now she didn't even have that. So the vet, oh, sorry, let me start that sentence over though, by the way. I'm just starting the whole paragraph over. And apparently she had been crying to the vet assistant that the ashes had been all she had left of her darling boy. The paw imprint we had ordered had been lost, and the lock of hair we asked to be cut from him and sent home also never made it to us. And now she didn't even have that. So the vet assistant was also crying because she felt so bad about the screw-ups and my mom's heartbreak. Luckily, it was all worked out, but my mom did then have to call back and explain that there was no mix-up. Her daughter is just a ding-dong, and sorry for the inconvenience. So anyway, if you're going to put stuff in an urn, maybe tell someone you're doing it. TLDR. I put baby teeth in the family dog's urn, and my mother thought we had the ashes and teeth of someone else's cat or small dog. Proceeds to cry on the phone and make the vet assistant cry too. I can only imagine like how heartbreaking that would be to open it up and be like, oh no, this isn't our dog. Like, I have never looked in Riley's urn. Now I kind of want to, because I'm curious to know if like the teeth come on top, but I would think that they don't. Like, I would think that if they don't like cremate, they get disposed of another way. So I don't know. I honestly have no idea if teeth fall to cremation or not. This is a not safe for work story, so one and only warning, if you don't want whoever you're sitting with to hear this one, headphones or skip. Or just enjoy the cringe of a not safe for work story together. Today I fucked up by wearing noise-canceling headphones while jerking off. Just can't ever get away from stories about jerking off, I guess. Edit. Hey Reddit, thanks for the tips. Got to head to class, but I wanted to ask for a favor where we keep the comments going, but go easy on the upvotes. I want your thoughts, but I don't want this story getting too popular, just in case, haha. I am 19, am staying at my college dorms for the coming summer as I signed up for some summer classes. My college opened up in my building for summer students, so I got lucky and I got to stay in mine. All semester long, I had a roommate, but now that he's gone for the summer, I could use the place to myself. I had also just got some noise-canceling headphones, so I was excited to fire up some Shakira videos and have a nice long wank session. I mean, you know what? Whatever floats your boat. I got 3 monitors so I can really get into the zone. I mean, at this point, the only thing this man is missing, this man is missing is like a VR headset or something like that. No, I think it means now, before the dorms are given to the students for the summer, there was supposed to be a room inspection. I think that room inspection is about to happen. This was supposed to take place yesterday. They had been reminding us about it for a month, but I forgot. As I was jerking off yesterday, I was sat in my computer chair, headphones on, with the door towards the back side on my left. This is just one mistake after another, I'm telling you what. Towards me, getting really into it, I felt a gust of wind and a slight change in light in my room for a couple of seconds, but I didn't pay much attention to it. I couldn't. I would have been like whipped around. I'm posing for a thumbnail because this will be great, but sorry. Dick in hand, just fuck. It would have been absolutely hilarious. What else are you supposed to do at that point? Entering somebody's room like that, what are you supposed to do? Oh, sorry. Continue. Like, what else? What else is supposed to happen in this situation besides that you can save yourself from? What can you do? This morning, I woke up and met with some friends who were also staying for the summer. They asked about my room inspection, and I said no one came to my room. They found that strange and said theirs happened at 3 p.m., which was right around the time I was jerking off. Reddit, do you think I didn't have the inspection, or do you think someone opened my door, saw me doing the deed? The inspection is run by my RA, this cute blonde, and I'm honestly desperately hoping she did not open my door. She didn't come, right? just needed some peace of mind. TLDR, was jerking off in my room and not sure if the cute RA saw me doing the deed. Sweetheart, I'm going to say this with as much, I don't want to say love, but with as much sympathy as I can muster for this. Your RA saw you doing the deed. For sure. We're gonna move on to our third story. Today I fucked up by cock blocking my own girlfriend. You know, I think we've all done something to cock block ourselves before, or I don't know if this is the actual term. So during Pride Month, I 110% apologize if this is not the proper term for this, or beaver damned ourselves. That's what I'm going with, and if there is another actual term for it, please inform me so I can use it, because I would love to add to my vocabulary and education on that subject. Occasional, while I'm asleep, I have what I call antics, quote unquote. I don't sleepwalk, but I will sometimes do things in my sleep, whether it be conversations with myself or whatever. I too have done this once or twice before. I did not know I talked in my sleep for the longest time. And then around the time that I do believe it was the third Pirates of the Caribbean movie was coming out. It was the first night I was staying over with an ex-boyfriend at his house, and I apparently, dead asleep, sat up, went, I hope you all saw that, because I will not be doing it again, and then laid back down and fell back asleep. And he was confused all to fuck, because he tells me about it the next day, and I just look at him and go, I talk in my sleep? Holy shit! No one's ever told me I've talked in my sleep before, and I have slept next to many a people, and no one has ever told me that I talk in my sleep. And so, later on down the line, I was talking with my husband about this, because me and my husband dated in high school, and we slept in the same bed overnight quite a few times. And so I asked him about it, and he goes, oh yeah, he's like, you do. Usually it's just mumbling, but you do. But because I also twitch as I'm falling asleep due to a trauma response from a friend that I had in middle school and my first year and a half of high school. That's a whole nother story, though. If you're ever interested in it, though, I will give a very in-depth, long story time on it, because if I had ever known that friends could be abusive, I would have known the signs to look for, hopefully as a 12, 13-year-old young girl. Anyway, sometimes I am partially aware of what I'm doing, but it's more like I think I'm dreaming. Then when I wake up the next day, I'll realize it happened. I never realize it happens. I do not sleepwalk, thank God, because I don't know if I could handle myself if I slept walk. But yes. An example of one is about 10 years ago. I sat straight up and reached for the book I was reading before bed each night. It was Wizard's First Rule by Terry Goodkind. First off, that series, absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. You very much have to pay attention to everything. They did make a TV show based off of it a while ago that has been canceled called The Seeker. But yes, if you are into books, The Wizard's First Rule is the first book of the Terry Goodkind series. Oh my god, they are amazing. It has taken him years to finish the series, because that's how much, like, in-depthness there is to these books. I've only read the first one, and I need to get to the other ones, but I literally have no time anymore to read. So, yeah. Now that it's summer, though, I might have a little bit more time, because I can take my son and Dusty to the park, and they can run around. Well, Dusty can run around on a leash attached to me, and I can read and then glance up and see where my son is and go back to reading a little bit. So maybe I'll get back into it. I don't know. Who knows? But I have just gotten Kindle Unlimited, so I'm very excited to see what all I can discover on there. Okay. Sidebar, excellent book series if you haven't read it. OP thinks so too. I took the book and ripped out the dedication page of the book. I then closed it, went back to sleep. Imagine my surprise when I realized I had not been fully dreaming it up. I would be heartbroken about myself. I'd be like, I can't believe I did that. Anyway, to the story. Girlfriend and I are laying in bed after we had some alone time before we went to sleep. Said our goodnights and all that and went to sleep. While sleeping, I had rolled over very close to her. She is a very light sleeper, so I must have woken her up. She reached over to me and wrapped an arm around her. I then began rubbing on her with my hand. Ooh, excuse me. I won't get into too much detail, but it should be obvious what I'm talking about. I'm assuming either rubbing the bean or rubbing the nips. I continued to do this for several minutes. Meanwhile, she's getting all hot and bothered and ready for round 2. Then, as subtly as I had started, I stopped and rolled over, leaving my poor girl just laying there bewildered on what just happened. I would fight a sleeping person. My husband ever did that shit to me and then just rolled the fuck over like nothing happened, I'd be like, wake up. Wake up, it's time to have sex again. In the morning, I wake up and find out what I had done. She wasn't mad by any means, but there were plenty of jokes. TLDR. In my sleep, I started getting my girlfriend all hot and bothered, but then I rolled over as if nothing happened, essentially cock-blocking her. I don't really feel like that's a cock-block, because I feel like a cock-block would be more like, oh, like setting yourself up and like she's been dropping hints all day, and then like not thinking about it, you invite like one of your friends over that's like really super annoying, and then they stay the night till like 12 o'clock at night and your girlfriend falls asleep, and you're just like you realize like the next morning, because she's like, you know, I wish you wouldn't have invited your friend over because I was trying to get you in bed, and then you go, fuck. That's more cock blocking. I don't feel like this so much is cock blocking, because it's given, I know cock blocking can be either like you're trying to cock block somebody, or it's very like oopsies. So I don't know, I just don't know if this falls under the definition of a cock block. So I mean, leave your own opinion. Tell me, do you think that this falls under a cock block? Let's read on. Some other antics I've done just for fun. Grabbed her arm in the middle of the night and held on with a death grip, all while whispering to her, we need to be careful, and then rolling over as if nothing had happened. I would honestly start recording this shit if I was his girlfriend, because this is absolutely hilarious. Because this makes me think of Selena Spooky Boo from TikTok, where she sleepwalks and she has like cameras all over her house to record them, and it's like she farts and she goes, what was that? It's just, that's what this is making me think of, and it's cracking me up inside. Gotten on my hands and knees with my phone light on, trying to search for something, all while staring at my pillow. Again, these are TikTok gold videos, my love. Please start recording them and sharing them, because it'd be hilarious. Work-related discussions with myself, calling for my cat or dog. What else? Like, I want to see the videos for these, because I think that these would be just absolutely hilarious. They would be TikTok gold. They would be YouTube gold if they're longer ones. Which, to be fair, you can still upload up to 10 minutes on TikTok, but you have to record it via like your phone's camera and then upload it. But if it's like that, you might as well just upload it onto YouTube at that point. This is another not safe for work story. Again, your one and only warning. Today I fucked up when I realized I've been wiping the wrong way my whole life. You know, I never realized as a young girl that there was a wrong way to wipe. I just figured, hey, as long as everything's clean, you're good. So now, as a almost mid-30s woman, I now have the absolutely nasty habit of wiping this way instead of towards the back. I do try, but these thick thighs, they save lives, but they do not make wiping very easy. Sorry to get TMI with you guys. So, I'm a trans guy, no surgeries or anything, so I have a vulva. I've grown up with it my whole life, now it's just hairier. The thing is, my whole life from when I was younger, I was taught to wipe forwards by reaching between my legs instead of reaching behind. Apparently, this is the very wrong way to do it and could have given me several infections if I was less lucky. Hi, Hermione. For the story, I was on YouTube listening to Reddit stories and minding my business when the story about this guy and his kid comes up. I'm listening in and curious because it's an r/am I the asshole? So of course it'll be interesting. Turns out the man was upset with his mother-in-law for wiping his daughter incorrectly when she had diarrhea. The mother wiped back to front and he was upset at her lack of care over the issue. He insisted she could have given his daughter an infection by getting goop poop on her vagina. That is one of the best names for diarrhea I think I've ever heard. Goop poop. It makes me think of like the sticky poops though, instead of like, because when I think of diarrhea, I think of watery. So, sorry, we're not going to get too into poop. And then it clicked. Wait a second, I wipe like that. I could have given myself an infection this whole time? I Google it, and yep, I've been wiping wrong my whole life. And I could have given myself a bacterial infection because of it. For years, I have been scratching my head as to how I'd gotten an infection when I was younger, about 11 or 12, but now I know. Turns out my parents set me up for failure by teaching me the entirely wrong way to wipe my butt. Edit for clarity. I'm very careful about how I wipe and avoid getting anything where it shouldn't be, but accidents can still happen, and it could have been avoided entirely by reaching around to wipe my ass separately. Okay, first off, I completely wipe my ass separately from peeing. Like, if I go to the bathroom and I do both, I will wipe first very carefully to make sure I do not touch the back end, and then I reach around and wipe the back end. I have never known anybody to do the whole thing in one great big sweeping motion, because who in their right fucking mind does that? That is definitely a one-way trip to, one, a shitty vagina, and infection city. Ugh. Sorry, I had a visual in my head for a second there, and I don't want it there anymore, so we're gonna continue. Also, I'm not referring to UTIs. I'm talking about vaginal infections, which can happen from getting gross materials in there by accident. Yes, there is a difference, but at the same time, I have gotten UTIs as a kid, and I'm almost wondering if this is why. Because I know I am more careful now as an adult, but because I was always led to believe that UTIs were mostly caused by having sex and the gentleman not cleaning his member properly. So, maybe both. TLDR. I've been wiping back to front like my parents taught me, and I could have gotten seriously ill because of it. We're going to move on to this next one. And I'm going to pause after this to give you guys the appropriate time to think about what the fuck I'm about to say. Today I fucked up by peeing on my baby. I'm just giving you a couple seconds to soak in that title. Is this by R. Kelly? Doesn't say so, but a little... Could be worse. You could have Amber Heard it. My 12-month-old and I were... You know what? The fact that this baby is 12, I already know what the fuck's going on. You're trying to pee, the baby suddenly decides, hey, that looks like fun, and then you pee on it. That's exactly where I'm assuming this is going. My 12-month-old son and I were playing this morning while my wife slept. I had to pee, so I headed to the bathroom with my son crawling closely behind. He hates when we shut doors on him to prevent him from following us into rooms, and will throw a huge tantrum when we do so. See, I have that same issue, but not with a human baby. My cats will throw the biggest fit if I go to the bathroom by myself and close the door all the way. I literally just took a shower. Again, wet hair. As I was getting out of the shower, Hermione is there at the door and just goes, and then stares at me. Like, we don't close this door in this house. You're not allowed in here by yourself. You need to be supervised. Fair enough, but still. So, yeah, I don't close doors all the way when I go to the bathroom anymore. Unless I have people over that are visiting. Or that are not my husband or my child. Because, one, my child has walked in on me going to the bathroom so many times because we have one toilet, and every time I have to go to the bathroom, suddenly he has to go too. So I digress. I can't close doors to latch for the bathroom at all anymore because one of my cats will have an absolute hiss fit about it. Not wanting to elicit a tantrum that would surely wake my wife, I decided to leave the door open and let my son explore the bathroom while I peed. I have called it. Pick up that phone. I called it. This was the first pee of the day, so it was going to be a long one. And also unusually dark and stinky. As I was peeing, my son stood up and peered into the bathtub and then tugged on the shower curtain. Then he went to grab the garbage can to the right of the toilet, but I successfully blocked him with my right leg. Frustrated with my defense, he decked around me and went to grab the toilet paper roll to the left of the toilet. Knowing this would result in a big mess, I went to block him with my left leg, but my son had other plans. He juked right back and went in between my legs. Sorry. It's just, I know where this is going, and it's so fucking funny. Oh. Grabbed the toilet bowl rim, then proceeded to try and grab my pee stream. Fucking kids, man. Which resulted in me peeing all over his hands and sleeves of his onesie. Not wanting this golden shower to go on any longer, I grabbed him while still trying to pee into the toilet bowl, but he started squirming and I ended up peeing all over the floor. Literally, at this point, you just should have, peed in the shower. You could have just flushed it down, but, at this point, you just should have peed in the shower. Once my bladder was finally empty, I gasped at the horror that had just ensued and promptly washed his hands of my pee before he had a chance to put them in his mouth. Honestly, I'm surprised you were able to finish, and as soon as he had stuff on his hands, he didn't just go, because that's literally what 99% of babies do. The second anything touches their hands, they're just like, hump, because children. I then changed his onesie, washed the bathroom floor, and went back to playing. I'm not sure if I should tell my wife about this. Do it. Do it, because I guarantee she's going to have plenty of moments similar to this, not exactly peeing on the baby, but similar to this, that she's going to need a moment like this to be like, you know what? I may have sneezed all over the baby, or I may have done this, I may have done that, but you know what? At least I haven't pissed on our child. Tell her. 'Cause someday she's gonna need that type of joke. Or she's gonna need that type of story. And someday, you guys are gonna want to tell that story to one of your kids' girlfriends, boyfriends, significant others, because it'll be fucking hilarious about the time that you peed on your kid. I guarantee, absolutely hilarious. When my parents first started, when I started dating, when my parents were out of prison, I remember them trying to embarrass me with my boyfriends and tell them stories of stupid shit I would do as a kid. And I reveled in it. I was just like, yes, tell me more. I don't remember any of this, so please tell me these stories, because I never get this type of interaction with my parents. So I was so thrilled, and I'd happily tell these stories still about myself. I don't care if they're embarrassing. I think they are fucking hilarious. TLDR. I let my 12-month-old explore the bathroom while I peed. It resulted in me peeing all over his hands and arms when he stood up and tried to grab my pee stream. You know, there's a story that I will tell until the day dementia takes me over and I can no longer remember. I'm hoping that if dementia leaves me with anything, it will be that story. Because after my son was potty trained for probably about a year, he was all of a sudden like, you know what? Daddy stands to pee. I'm gonna stand to pee. Like, hey, as long as you don't piss all over the floor and the walls and I have to clean it up, go for it. Well, he learned to lift the seat, as all good boys do, and also lower it, as all good boys do. Well, standing there, peeing, facing the toilet, as a young boy with ADHD does, you get bored. So what does he do? Start playing with the toilet seat, bapping it against the back of the tank. And what happens? Oh, the toilet seat slips and slams right down on it. So in between the toilet seat and the rim of the bowl, penis. I did not know that penises could bruise, for one. And while the story is hilarious now, because I have always remembered one very specific quote from Home Alone 3. This is the one where they no longer had Kevin in the movies. The one where he gets chicken pox and he gets home like early in the movie and he's scratching himself and then he just starts screaming because he realizes he's covered in chicken pox. And the sister just yells, "Alex slammed the toilet seat down on his thing again." That line ran through my head as soon as I heard the noise and then him start crying. And I'm just like, he just slammed the toilet seat down on his thing. I go in there and I calm him down. And like, you can already tell it, like the tip was already starting to bruise. And I'm sitting there going, like, I was actually scared. Like, I thought I was like laughing in my head about it. Like, I can't believe this situation's actually fucking happening, until I saw it. And then I was like, oh my fucking God, do I need to take him to the hospital? No, he was fine. I had no idea. I was glad my husband was home when this happened because I was very scared. And he goes, it's fine. I'm like, penises can bruise? And he goes, yes, penises can bruise. They have blood vessels just like anything else. If something hits it hard enough, it's gonna bruise. And I'm like, okay, I feel a little bit better. And I checked him every single time to make sure he wasn't peeing blood, because I was terrified that something was wrong. But no, he's fine. Everything's fine. But it was just it was one of those moments where I'm going to tell whoever he dates in the future at some point, because it is hilarious. And I swear to God, if dementia ever strikes me, please, Odin, leave me with that one memory. You can take away all my other ones, but leave me with that memory. Because that'll be hilarious till the day I die. We have another not safe for work story in our next story. Today I fucked up by not being prepared for a BJ in the middle of the night. I don't know a lot of people that would be prepared for one of those in the middle of the night, if I'm being completely honest. Had the craziest dream that I was being chased. This is by an animal, but I think it means by an animal of some sort, and was hiding while also sweating, both in and out of the dream. As I'm waiting to leave my hiding space in my sleep, I was half asleep, and my lady surprised me with the warmth of her lips, tongue, and throat all over my very erect, sleepy penis. At this point, I'm definitely half asleep and can feel her choking a bit to get it all the way down there. As great as the sensation probably was for my body and lower extremities, I was still in dream mode and though not totally present with what was happening in my bed. Still fearing for my life in my dreams, I woke up completely startled and immediately flew out of bed, assuming she was trying to hurt me. Now I'm pretty sure I scared her to sleep as I'm now sitting in the bathroom typing this, after already apologizing to her after she tried to only help. Just an interesting story I wanted to share. No real advice or problems other than I'm probably not going to get another middle of the night / spontaneous BJ from her ever again. I mean, it'll probably happen again, but like years down the road, and I guarantee you it will never happen in the middle of the night again while you're sleeping. TLDR, I confuse the sensations of a BJ while half asleep with me being attacked by an animal of some sort in my nightmare. And you know what? It happens. I don't, this is a very sleepy time playlist, I guess, because, my goodness. Today I fucked up by telling my girlfriend that a mutual friend passed away in a freak accident while out with friends. Something's telling me that, you told her in, like, the wrong way or, like, waited too long. I don't know. Let's find out. This happened last night, and the mood is still bad. We were out at separate events, her with her friends, myself at an event with a couple that I know. When I met up with the couple that I had plans with, they say, hey, so do you remember our friend X, right? Well, he passed away in a freak accident. I'm paraphrasing here, but this was a friend of theirs that had come around a few times while visiting them from out of town. My girlfriend had taken a liking to them and seemed to enjoy his company as well as myself. The 3 times we hung out with him, I was extremely shocked, but I wasn't close with him, and so I did not feel particularly shook, but saddened, but nothing overly emotional. I feel like that's a fairly understanding kind of reaction, though. You know, like, somebody you do know, you have met, you remember their name, you can put a face to the name, you have some memories of them, but you weren't, like, super close to them, so it'd be like, damn, like, that sucks, like, that's crazy. Fast forward 4 hours later, and I've had several drinks before making my way to meet up with my girlfriend and her friends. The only thing I can think about on the way up there was how I had to tell her in person about this because the circumstances were so crazy. I show up, and it's the second thing to come out of my mouth after cordials. She immediately got very somber and visually upset. She held it together for the next 20 to 30 minutes, but she was no longer talking to anyone and then asked to leave the show we were at. I come to find out this reminded her of feelings related to a friend / coworker of hers dying right about the time we met around 2 years ago. The entire time I could tell I basically ruined her friend's night by telling her this. I'm wondering if, like, X and her coworker died in, like, similar circumstances, and that's why she feels this way, because, I mean, I think it's, I don't know what else to think about that kind of situation. She's still not really speaking today, as she seems super depressed. She's supposed to hang out with that same group tonight for a really elaborate birthday party thing, and I can tell she's going to cancel. I feel like her friends fucking hate me now, and all I could think about was had I just not said anything until after the show, most of this would have been fine. I feel like such a fucking asshole with the insensitive timing. She's not upset at me at all, but I don't know how to make this situation better. Not sure what to say to her friends other than to profusely apologize next time I see them as well. TLDR, the friend that passed away was only someone we had hung out with a few times, and I didn't think at all about this bringing up other bad memories of another friend passing years ago. Drunkenly broke the news in front of her friends at a show. She took it really bad, and now I'm pretty sure they all think I'm an asshole. I can't tell if this is the sleepy episode or the butthole episode. Really can't tell. I'm thinking more sleepy, but here we go. Today I fucked up by eating a hot sauce called the Butthole Destroyer. I'm honestly not gonna lie. I see stuff like this, and 9 times out of 10, I go, they're fucking lying. And 9 times out of 10, they're not. The fuck up was actually yesterday when I had a boys only hangout. No girls allowed. The girlfriend was out at a concert, so I invited the boys over to paint some miniatures for our next game night. It was a good time. Your typical guy's night, refrigerator full of cheap beer, mountain of empanadas, and the sauce. The sauce is made with scorpion peppers and Carolina Reapers. But I have eaten it before and survived. I think my hubris may have gotten the better of me. And so for the next 6 or 7 hours, I was knocking back cold ones, munching on hot sauce, slathered empanadas, and painting miniatures. Every man's dream. And I could rest easy knowing that I was doing God's work. Fair enough. Then this morning happened. I wake up peacefully with the sound of the birds chirping their songs in the first rays of daylight. And that's when I notice the tempestuous churning in gut. I make a break for the toilet wearing nothing but my socks. And it's fair to say the Butthole Destroyer did just that. My ass burns with the fire of 1,000 suns. Full-blown firea. As I'm finishing typing this post, I can see the group chat coming to life. And I don't think my friends fared much better. TLDR. I ate a hot sauce called the Butthole Destroyer, and now my butthole is destroyed. R.I.P. this butt. I don't know what else to say to it. I'm gonna move on to our next one. Today I fucked up by making a snarky comment to my wife. AKA the last words you will probably ever say, and your funeral is this weekend. Yesterday, I absolutely fucked up by making a snarky comment to my wife. I was driving her and her friend on a military base, and the gate guard was an old man who had massive arms. My wife's friend said that he was hot, and my wife agreed. I was partially offended by this, and my dumbass brain told me to say, I wish the gate guards were a bunch of hot blondes. I love blondes. This man's funeral is definitely this weekend. This is him posting this from the afterlife. Because that's a dead man. My wife has brown hair. No. Oh my God, no. As you can imagine, that did not go over well. I had dug myself a very deep hole. I attempted to play it off as a joke to no avail, and then tried to say it was a double standard, which also did not go over well. Are you sure? It really didn't go over well? I couldn't imagine why. Somehow, that hurricane blew over by the next morning, which is a miracle in itself, and I thought I had escaped unscathed. I don't even have to read the rest of this to tell you he did, in fact, not escape unscathed. The argument was an afterthought until I made a comment with my peanut brain. You seem to make a lot of comments with your peanut brain that seem to get you into on a show we were watching about the actress looking like a girl I used to date. She was blonde. This led to my wife taking a very keen interest on my previous relationships and hookups. I've previously told her about them, but nothing very detailed. She interrogated me like an FBI agent, and I managed to answer all of her very detailed questions until she started asking to see pictures of them. I didn't think anything of it, so I obliged. The first one I showed was blonde, and she jokingly said, "Of course she's a fucking blonde." You know, I am very much glad I did not decide to dye my hair blonde this summer, because I would be sitting here feeling like a jackass. I then proceeded to show her pictures of the 6 previous girlfriends, and every single one of them was blonde. I then remembered I definitely dated one girl with black hair, and when I pulled up her Facebook, she had now dyed her hair blonde. This made my wife very self-conscious, and things are a bit rocky now. Next time, I will keep my mouth shut about blondes. I think you should just keep your mouth shut about anybody that doesn't look exactly like your wife. It'll save your ass in the long run. Although at the same time, it might be too late. TLDR, I made a snarky comment to my wife after she made a comment I didn't like, and it transformed to her being very interested in my previous relationships, and she wanted to see pictures. They all turned out to be blondes. My wife is a brunette. Whatever, I'm gonna say this, and I feel like I shouldn't have to say this, but I'm going to, just on the off chance OP is listening to this. Do not, and I repeat this very sternly, do not buy your wife blonde hair dye. Not as a joke, not in a year, not in 10 years. When you can make that joke is if she dies before you. You can just leave some hair dye just right on the grave and never mention it again. If she ever talks about wanting to dye her hair and asks you what color she thinks she should do it, do not say blonde. Say any other color in the fucking world. Say purple, black, green, navy. Do not say blonde. For everything that is inside of you, for you to make it till whatever next birthday you have coming, never suggest she go blonde. Never. This is another not safe for work story. Today I fucked up by asking my husband to throw away the condom. Let me guess. I've been told by the doctors that I'm infertile. I can't get pregnant. We don't need condoms. We don't need birth control. Bam! Pregnant. Fuck. Ow. That's just my guess. Let's first get the relevant but not so relevant stuff out of the way. We had sex on the sofa. Sorry, I have a story. I went and cleaned it up and got dressed, then came back and sat on said sofa. My husband had been watching football this entire time with the used up condom still on his now retreating dick. One thing can be sure about him is that he gets distracted easily and is very lazy post our coital activities, so I, having seen the used full condom eventually fall off and the components spill out many times before, ask him to go throw it away before that happens. Asking once never does the trick, so I ask again and again. That is gross. If your girlfriend or wife or whoever has to ask you multiple times to throw away the used condom still dangling from your dicky-doo, you're gross. And I hope you get a UTI. Now, I love my husband very much, and his goofiness is one of the things that make me love him so much. But tell me why on earth this man gets up, takes off, ties the condom off, twists it a couple of times, and in a flash, before I can even comprehend anything, slaps it on my thigh like one of those wet towel slaps. The laws of physics happened next, and the sheer force of the slap made the contents go everywhere. And I mean everywhere. At this point, you might as well just fucking jerked off onto her whole body at this point, because what the fuck was the point of the condom? After a laughter fit, we composed ourselves and went in for another cleanup. TLDR. Asked my husband to throw away the used condom and he slapped my thigh with it. Edit. Guys, it's hilarious how many of you are clutching your pearls at something so stupid and minute. A singular post-sex comment, or a singular post-sex moment is not our whole life. Me and my husband are both fully functional, healthy, yes, physically and mentally, and clean human beings 99% of the time. Sorry you guys don't have anyone to be your somewhat gross 1% with, but we are more than happy with our relationship being exactly how it is. I truly wish you guys find someone who accepts you and loves you exactly how you are as well someday. It's really fun. And it is. I will yell it from the rooftops, the mountaintops. I will defend. This is the hill I will die on. Being best friends with my husband is more important than being husband and wife. Because there are some days where I don't love, or I shouldn't say that. I love my husband all the time. There are some days I don't like him, and I think we all get like that. There are some days we just don't like our significant other. We love them still, but there are just some days we don't like them. And they just, every little thing they do, every breath they take, it just drives you up the fucking wall, and you just want them to walk away for like 20 minutes to give you some fucking space, but saying that makes you come off like a mega bitch. But I find myself never not loving him. But I don't always love him romantically. Sometimes I just love him as my friend. Like when we're supposed to be going to bed and it's 11 o'clock at night and we're horsing around and wrestling and poking each other and making stupid, terrible dad pun jokes over and over again, making me wheeze with laughter and snort. And those are the moments that always come to mind. Whenever somebody asks me, oh, well, what's your favorite thing to do with your husband? It's not have sex. It's not anything sappy or romantic. It's to sit there and be absolute fucking goofballs together. Him being my best friend is the best thing about us. And we have even, we dated in high school. And our whole thing before we dated was, listen, we're gonna be friends first. That's the main thing. If we can't be friends, we can't be together. And we're gonna give this a trial run. And if we don't end up having romantic feelings for each other, we can still be friends and there'll be no hard feelings. We just always have to be open and honest with each other if we do develop feelings. Well, according to him, he developed feelings first but didn't tell me, and I spilled the beans first. I'm still convinced that I developed feelings first and told him like I was supposed to, but I'll let him die on that hill if he so wishes. But still, even after we broke up, we were still friends for many, many years. So he's always been that person. He's always been my person. And that's my favorite thing about him, is that fact that he is my best friend. And it's for stupid shit like that. Like, we have stupid stories, way more than I could probably even think about in this moment. And yeah, laying in bed at night, making stupid dad jokes, or suddenly deciding to wrestle around like a couple of idiots, despite the fact that I am way weaker than him, but I am damned well and determined to try and just pin him or do anything that involves me winning somehow. I never do. Those are the moments that are the best. It's me sitting here on the couch and just playing on my phone, doing anything, and him running up next to me, farting in my face, and then running off. It's gross, and I yell at him and go, what the fuck is wrong? What the fuck is wrong with you? But at the end of the day, it is still absolutely hilarious, and I never want it to change. We'll continue. And to all the condom people, yes, we still use condoms even though we're married. Try researching what hormonal birth control does to a woman's body. My big, bad, gross husband 100% respects me not wanting to fuck up my hormones and deal with the side effects just so he can raw dog it. Also, I am literally the epitome of what happens when you are on birth control. I have a terrible time losing weight. I have been on birth control basically since having my son 7 years ago, almost 8 years ago, and it definitely fucks up your body. It's not fun. It's not... It's... I don't know how else to put it. It's... Birth control is a very heavy subject. Like, me and my husband have talked about it. He's going to get snipped eventually. It's just kind of one of those things that until that happens, I'm going to stay on birth control. Why? Because I do not want any more kids. And I don't like condoms. He could care less, but I don't like condoms. So, yeah, we choose not to use condoms and use birth control instead, and eventually things will go away. It'll be fine. But yeah, it's just, that's what works for us and that's what works for them. And both are completely fine options as long as everybody involved is on the same page and agreeing together on it. That's what matters. While that is doing that, we're going to switch back over so we can do our outro. But I will do everything here in just a little bit. Why does my throat keep... Why does my throat keep being suddenly scratchy? I don't know and I don't like it, but thank goodness it is almost time for bed. All right, and here we go. Thanks to everyone for listening today. God, that was terrible. Hold on. We're gonna restart that one. That one was just bad. Holy crap. Ugh, my hair. Just getting to that weird dryness where it's still damp and wants to do weird shit. Thanks to everyone for listening today. I hope you all enjoyed the podcast. If you know somebody who likes my content, feel free to send me their way and a share. If you would like to send me a message with your own story, rant, question, unpopular opinion, or if you want me to tell others how you fucked up today, or any day, send me a message via any of my social media found in the description below. Just look for my cute little avatar you see on whatever app you're listening on. My upload schedule is every Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at noon Central Time. Please give a rating if you enjoyed what you heard today. I hear that they help out tremendously. And as always, I will catch you all next time. Bye! And as always, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. As I said before, my upload schedules are Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at noon Central Time. So if that is difficult time for you to figure out, just look up what time it is in Central Time and that'll basically tell you, and then you can kind of judge from where you are in the world at that point. I know with Eastern Time, you are just 1 hour ahead of me, and depending on how far west you are, it will vary. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please feel free to hit the subscribe button if you enjoyed what you saw and you want to see more, the bell icon if you want to be notified, and if that is your jam. Otherwise, feel free to leave a comment down below. Tell me what your favorite part of the video was, what your favorite story was, what your opinion was. Or if you want to leave your story down below, if I ever get any comments, I will read them from time to time. Hit the like button if you enjoyed what you saw, and hit the dislike button if you didn't. And it doesn't matter because the dislike button apparently doesn't do anything on YouTube anymore. But I will see you guys next week, and I hope you guys all have a good weekend.